Welcome to Tea Time with Kitty. I hope that you all are in out of the rain and ready to sip some tea. Today we'll be talking about respectfully declining. I don't have my cell phone today, so I won't be able to. The screen just froze. So I'm going to have to take it in to the Apple store. So I don't have it in front of me today, so I won't be able to get any text messages that I can see. But you can always send me an email to Parthenia, Partythina, 302 at gmail.com. Okay, so let's get started. As I stated today, we're going to talk about respectfully declining. So I'm going to give you all a little bit of background on this particular situation that happened. Someone wanted to share. I'm not going to give the name or anything of that nature, but this particular person is expecting a child. So this particular person is expecting a child, and they work for the government. And one of their, well, not even really their colleagues, someone that's not a colleague wanted to give them baby stuff, and the baby stuff is used. Of course, it's not new, and they insisted on after the person declined, saying, "No, I don't need it. Thank you very much." The person still insisted on um, giving the person the baby clothes. So I want to hear from you all. Like, have you ever been in a situation where you nicely try to decline something, but someone insists on giving you something that you don't need? So I just want to hear from you all right now. How would you handle such? You have a child, even if you're not expecting, but you have a child, so you have two kids, and you have a family member, a neighbor, or a co-worker, or someone who just wants to give you and your children some items. Hi, sister. It's not even so much about the used items per se itself, but anything that someone just gestures and wants to give to you, and you're trying to decline, but they're still not accepting that. I just want to hear from you all on how you will handle that. I have a little snuffles a little bit, so I'm drinking some nice hot tea. But I really want to hear from you all with how you will handle something as such. So if you all could just give me feedback on that. And if you need the item, it's very important to accept it. That's okay. Handle what, Christian? Okay, so basically the scenario was, how would you handle someone trying to give you something that you didn't need or didn't want, and you told them thank you, hey, but I don't need it. And they still insisted on giving it to you and bringing it to you. How would you deal with that? Like with something that you really didn't want. Like say, like if it could be a pair of jeans. Like just say, like if somebody, Christian, since you asked, so say if somebody wanted to give you a pair of used jeans, like back in the day we used to wear used jeans and it has big patches over them, and you know that it's something that you're definitely not going to wear. Would you just take those jeans anyway, or how would you respectfully decline from receiving that from someone? So would you take the item, or what would you do? And it don't have to just be clothes. It could be anything like food. I know that when I was at Children's last week with the girls for their physical, they had like a little fruit and vegetable. And even though I kept saying, no, I'm fine, I don't want it, they just insisted on, here, take some of this fruit and vegetable. Okay. So I'll see if I know someone who needs it. But if you don't want it, I'm not accepting it. Okay. So you just wouldn't accept it from someone. But like, how would you do it so that the person is not offended? Because you may really not need something. So say if you may have already had a shower and you may have gotten two tubs already, how would you, like let the person know, hey, I'm not trying to offend you, but I really don't need it. I would say no and recommend to donate to a shelter or Goodwill. Okay, so that's really a good suggestion. But sometimes people just don't take no for an answer. So has anyone had a situation where you declined something and you told someone no, you didn't need it, but they still insisted on giving you something that you didn't want? So do anyone have a scenario to share as such? And aside from that, like what makes people do that? Like if you have something, not only if you're the person that decline something. But if you had something that you wanted to give, how do you know if it's appropriate to give something to someone, or like how do you just impose it, or what if you think somebody may need something that they really may not need? So I want to know, how do we handle all those sorts of things? Okay, so you're saying no, you shouldn't offend them because you can be offended. Hold on, you saying no, shouldn't offend them because they could be offended that they are offering it to you. Right. So like, does it feel that like, so do you get offended by that? Like, and feel like the person feels like you're needy, or like, like what if you feel like, hey, what made them think I needed it? Like, how would you feel about a scenario as such, as far as somebody saying, hey, how do you feel like I need it? To be honest, what's TBH? Oh, okay, so to be honest, it's TB. Okay. So you're saying no, shouldn't offend them because to be honest, you can be offended that they are offering it to. Right. So yeah. So what if the person is offended that you're offering it to them? So should there be like a circle of people that you just give stuff to or offer stuff to, or should you just be imposing it? Like if I work with you and I see you coming to work and I don't think your shoes look up to par, is that socially acceptable just to offer somebody a pair of shoes? Like, how do you know if it's coming off offensive? Or if, okay, so the firm that usually work is when you say it nicely, people think you can change your mind. Right. Okay. So people, right, exactly. So they think that they can change your mind. So like, what if you don't want your mind changed? Because like at the same time, like I may need something, but I could be offended that you're offering it to me. So should there be like a social realm on how you offer something? I know like with my church, we do like a clothing drive or whatever. So if somebody wants something, they can come up and pick it up. So it doesn't have to be as, put on a front line like you need this. Because I know that if somebody offered me something, like I may feel like, yeah, I'm modest and I'm humble to take it. But then it could be also somebody that offends you by offering you certain things. Like what about if you had bad breath and somebody offer you a toothbrush? Is that offensive? Like to know somebody that like really has like bad breath and you offer them gum. I had a scenario. This lady offered a bag of work clothes to me at work because she apparently didn't like my dress code. I declined and she insisted. So I took the clothes and donated them. Okay, so so should people be that persistent? Like, who are you to say? Because it could come from two ways. Like one could be genuinely like, yes, I needed that. But then again, who are you to say that you gonna offer me clothes because of my dress code? See, because I'm something smart and you to offer it to me and nobody else. Also, sometimes people would tell other people that they gave you something. So that is another valid point. Like, because that could be another reason why you don't want to accept something. Because people may go back, like, you don't know this person. They may go back and tell them, like, well, I had to buy them some food, I had to buy them some clothes. So you really don't know that person. So you don't really want to be taking something from someone you don't know. But okay, and aside from the clothes piece, let's talk about like if you know somebody, like I was saying earlier, that has bad breath, and you're like, I know for me, like if I know somebody have bad breath or something like that, I may just have a piece of gum and then I'll offer it to them. Okay, so they may have something to hold over your head, right? So you may just want to offer them a piece of gum. You may not even know that their breath is bad or whatever. But you may be offering it being genuine, but because they feel like it's something to do with know that they have bad breath, they may find it offensive. So it's really a thin line with offering somebody something and making sure it's appropriate to give that to them. So I know like what I normally do when I would give people stuff, I'll say, hey, I have some items, you want it? And let them say yes or no. And then I always tell them, hey, and if it's anything that you don't like or something that's not in here that you don't want in this bag, just let me know and give it back to me, because that way they don't feel like something was pushed on them. You got to eat the gum yourself, then offer them a stick so they can tell, so they can't tell what you're doing. But if somebody have an issue with that, they're gonna know what you're doing anyway. It depends on the person. You have to know the type of person you're dealing with. Right. So, and that's my whole thing, niece. That's my whole thing with the person that tried to donate the stuff to the person. Like, you don't even know this person. So I think that it definitely depends on if you know the person or not, and that person is comfortable with you. Because even if I need something, I may be a little reluctant to take it from someone I don't know. Okay, that's why I don't offer anyone any. So Trail, you just don't offer nobody nothing. So it doesn't really matter what it is. You just don't want to offend anybody. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense. So I know Sharon shared with us that someone offered her something. Is there anybody else that was offered something and you really tried to decline, but the person would take no for an answer? What makes people that way? Like you, if somebody say I don't need it and it's a donation, I think that you should accept it and stop right there. So what do you think about that? Like, is it just in people's um is it just that they really feel like they're doing a good deed? So is that why they're not taking no for an answer? Is it just a good deed? Is that why they're not taking no for an answer? Okay, if I see 10 people you don't know and only offer it to two of those people, it's a reason why. Yeah, so definitely I agree that it's a reason why. Oh, so this person was crazy. Oh, okay. Okay. And you see that a lot. Like some people just like to be givers. It could be from something you don't even need. I think I remember years ago we was at church and one of the elder ladies at the church, that young couldn't find her shoes. And one of the elder ladies at the church whose feet was like two sizes smaller than young was adamant about giving her shoes. Like she didn't see no big deal that young didn't have her shoes to go sing in the choir. So she was gonna give her little kitten heels. And she was so adamant about it, little sweet old lady, and she was adamant about giving her them heels. So, and it could be I remember someone took me and my girls on a trip because they knew that I had like several kids. The person became more like family, but they knew that I had several kids, so they was doing a good deed and took me and my kids to Disney World. And I think at that time that they took us, it was like our fifth time going. So they had already knew where everything was at and what was going on. But that person just felt, hey, just a single mom, I'm gonna try to help. So because that person was like family, I didn't feel offended at all. But I later understood where the approach was coming from. But if I could do that for a mother with small children and had that type of funding, I would do it as well. And the ones you feel it might feel like you think you have it more than others, which may cause them to go in defense mode. Well, let me see if I can break this down a little bit more. What you're saying, Christian? So you're saying that the ones you offered it to might feel like they think they need it more than others, right? Or may feel like they don't need it. So like you're offering this to me, like why did you single this out? Like why do you see that I'm pregnant, so it makes you want to give me something when I honestly don't need it? Like I think that you should only offer, but I think that no should mean no. And I think that that's where the disconnect is. Like you should always offer. If you think someone's in need, always offer with the heart. But if someone respectfully declines, I think it's very important that we allow that person to decline and don't insist that someone takes it, because you'll get some people that after you said it to them several times, they'll just take it and throw it in the trash. And that could have really been something that someone else could have used, but you kept trying to insist on giving to someone who didn't want it. So now they trashed it, and it was some really good things that went to waste that didn't have to go to waste. Sometimes people do give away junk. Do anybody have any scenarios of that where people try to give you their junk because they don't want to have to call bulk trash and ask them to come pick it up? So they try to give you some junk. Right. And even if even if they say they need it, they may say they don't because they don't want nobody in their business. Okay, that's understand, especially at work. Because let me keep going back to that at work. Like where I worked at, I know exactly when I worked at Fort Davis. That particular service center was like a family to me. So we took really good care of each other. But if I'm at different places in different roles, and depending on how much you make or what you do, people could look down on you. So you do want to be kind of hesitant about what you give. Like the first lady at my church is the one who told me like years ago, be humble. It's okay to receive. Because because of not wanting anybody to talk about you, I wouldn't accept anything from anybody. So I had to learn that it is okay to take things from people is okay, just as well as it is to give is fine to receive, especially if it's something that's in good use. Just make sure you're not giving away junk to people. Like, so it's very important um to not give away junk. So while we're talking about that, and it was initially talking about respectfully declining, and we talked about someone trying to give someone baby stuff. Now, like for me, I'm real hesitant with giving baby stuff away. Like most new parents, if it's your first child, a little bit different if it's maybe your second or third, but a lot of times when it's your first child, you tend to want everything new. You just, it's just by nature, especially if you can afford it. So if you're working or you have a supportive family, I know like with my granddaughters, this will be my second granddaughter coming soon. So I mean, like I would want them to have everything new. So like I wouldn't need or want anything for them. Like it's a blessing, but it may be someone else that needs it, and that's okay. Okay, so Parkland said they're gonna take it and give it away or throw it in the trash. Also, if someone is persistent, you gonna just say, I know a lot of people talking about throwing it in the trash. I really don't want it thrown in the trash. We're gonna have to get together anyway. If you all have some old clothes and stuff, try to hold on to it because we're gonna get together soon and bring all our stuff together, and maybe we can do a clothing swap, meaning that I may have a blazer for my niece Toya. She may got some jeans for me, and I think that those I like those a lot. Doing like a clothing swap. Um, you wouldn't swap clothes, Christian. You wouldn't take some jeans because nothing's wrong with swapping. You say you would. So are you saying you wouldn't do the clothes swap? Is that what you wouldn't do? Because I would, like, especially if it's people in your circle. So it's not like a whole bag or whatever. It's everybody. Because imagine throwing it away and the person see, oh, okay, you wouldn't throw it away. Oh, okay. Yeah, and the person seeing you throw it away. That's amazing. So let's talk about some other things that we decline, like invites. Like, I know my pastor will always say that, he didn't go to events where he knew it would be a lot of alcohol and things of the nature. Have you ever respectfully declined an event? It could have been for COVID, or it could have been just declining the event due to who was going to be there or what was going on. How would you decline a social event? How would you decline a social event? If someone trying to have you go somewhere and you definitely know that it's something that's not up your alley, how would you decline? Like if you're a man and you know that your cousin's having a party and it's going to be strippers there, and you're just so in love with your wife or your mate, how would you decline a social invitation? Okay, so Christian, you say you would decline if the invite was from a person that you didn't normally hang with. So even if it was something decent, you just wouldn't go if they're not in your circle. So just like period, you wouldn't just like try it out. Like if it's a clean cut party, nothing strange going on, like ain't nobody doing cocaine or nothing like that, you still wouldn't go. Even if it's a cousin, you're not gonna go. Christian, I thought you love to go places. So you mean to tell me if you don't be with somebody? So Trail said she'd just ignore it, laugh out loud. Okay. Like I can't believe you. That tea is opening up my pulse. Okay, so you'll just laugh out loud and say, no, you're just not gonna go. Okay, got it. Let me close this part out here. Okay, so Trail was saying just ignore it. Not just not go. Okay, most of the time. Okay, what about respectfully declining an event with someone who don't know how to act? So what about that particular person that you just don't want to go out with them because every time they go out somewhere, they're getting drunk, they want to fight? How do you decline their invitation when they're a cool friend? Like you said, Christian, like it's somebody that's cool with you, but you just don't want to go out with them because it's always something going on when you heading out with them. How do you decline that respectfully? Because these are going to be some tools that we're going to need to use because summer is approaching. Summer is here. As we can see, there's a lot going on in the streets right now to make you don't even want to be out there. So you're going to definitely have to decline a lot of different events. So what is that going to look like for you. So knowing how to decline something you don't want, knowing how to decline a venue that you don't want to go to, or knowing how to decline with someone that you're probably close to in a sense, but you just don't want to be that close to them to be going out in public with them. So Richard said, hell no. Okay, so my sisters laugh at that. Just tell them I'm standing. So you feel like your sisters don't always know how to act, Latrell, so you just gonna tell them you standing and not going out with them? Okay. I have a friend like that, and I say just that. I don't feel like your BS tonight, right? Okay, so I'm not going out nowhere with you. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So these will be some tools for me. The vile person inviting you somewhere can do something that change your life forever. That's a valid point, Christian. That's a very valid point. And that's why it's most important to know when it's that type of person to definitely decline. Because wild people can cost you your life, or they can cause you to be incarcerated, or if not your life, just really bad hurt somewhere. So you definitely need to know who you've been right. Yep, end up in jail. Girl say, yep, end up in jail. So it is very important. So, just talking about respectfully declining, getting ready for the summer. When I hear they going, I won't show up. That's really good. So since you know that they're going to be there, why even show up? And there's people like that just have no coof. That's what I always say. No self-control at all. And people that don't have self-control, like, why would you want to spend so much time around them? So respectfully declining is very important, because the key of it is we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but our feelings are important too. So if you're trying to give me a used baby tub or some baby bibs that have stains on it, I feel like that's kind of disrespectful, because I know that I wouldn't give anybody something that I didn't want. So I definitely wouldn't do that. So when it talks about going somewhere, I've had plenty of friends that has went different ways in life. I still have love for them, but because of ways that they went in life and I didn't partake of it, it cost us the distance. So this tea right here has peppermint in it, and it is not green, but it's doing a job. I have some peppermint tea today. And they say only been one. Yeah, some things are just not presentable enough to be given. So we definitely need to take that into consideration. So on another note, while we're wrapping up for the last 5 minutes, some of you may already know, and some of you have not, that I was able to reach another one of my goals. And that goal is to come up with an exotic t-shirt line. So my t-shirt line will be exotic. However, because I am active in the church, as well as I have a lot of clean family members who may not want to wear a shirt that say hit it from the back, slim thick, and things of that nature, I'm going to have some clean shirts as well. So I plan on kicking some of those shirts off this weekend. I'm at Dayon's house today. Y'all know I normally do tea time from Dayon's house, and I'm not at my house. And I had an appointment today, so I didn't get to go back and get the t-shirts to show them to you. But right now, the only t-shirts I have are Kitty's Couture. That's my t-shirt line. Thank you, Latrell. And these are titty t-shirts. So you know how T is normally for t-shirts. These t-shirts are for T for titty. And there's a lot of clothing lines around where people are doing a lot of stuff, but I find that most of it is geared to men, although they have women things as well. So like with me and my family, we're like a family of linebacks. So regardless of how skinny you is or how fat you is, everybody had like these shoulders. So because of that, I don't like the average kind of men t-shirts that men wear. So I wanted something more feminine. So my t-shirts are more feminine. A lot of them are going to be V-neck as well. And they're going to be designed with different type of slogans on them. Again, these are exotic t-shirts, so they are not for your children. But because I walk upright, even though this is my vision, and I feel like when something's your vision, you can be decent in order and not out of order, regardless of what something may say. So I will still have my clean t-shirt. So It'll be some really nice slogans for those of you who are not as exotic as I am. But for myself, I know I want my shirts this summer to say things like thick thighs save lives, thicker than a snicker. So that's where I will be going at with it. Because my son, okay, so they're not for men. Yeah, they're not for men, but because my son wanted a shirt, and I have a lot of other male supporters like my brothers and close family and friends, I am going to do a few men's shirts. I'm just still working on that because right now I had it all planned out to do it in women. I didn't think that men would be that interested, but I am going to bring something to the forefront from the for the men. But I just want you all to stay tuned for Kitty's Couture. And I am going to start selling some t-shirts next week. If the t-shirt is Tea Time with Kitty or Kitty's Couture, those t-shirts will run from a size small to an extra large. And those shirts will be $15. If it's a shirt, one of the exotic t-shirts for which I will be, most of my production will be exotic t-shirts. Those t-shirts will go from a small to an extra large, and they will be $20. Kitty Couture joint is regular. Okay. And then if you have something that you want your shirt to read, you just let me know. I'll have it created for you. That would be a personalized shirt, which will go from small to extra large, and that shirt will be $25. I also is working with the vendor to get larger sizes. So if you need a larger size, just let me know. But for the most part, most persons should be able to wear the small through the extra large. I've been detoxing and cleansing, but I wore a large and it fit well. So I think the shirts do fit to size really well. So I'm definitely looking forward to your support. I'm so thankful at the amount of people that already requested shirts to send money for shirts. I'm so thankful for that. This again is a hobby. I still work my Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, doing what I love, serving the residents of the District of Columbia. So this is definitely a hobby. Like, I just want to be able to wake up in the morning and wear a shirt to feel like what's going on today. So I know one of the shirts that I will be marketing off next week as well is I'm not just cute, I cook too. So with that particular shirt is not as exotic or is not as bad as, thick thighs save lives that may be offensive to someone, but it's just a shirt just basically saying I can cook and I'm cute too. So just to let somebody know, hey, I'm not just cute, I do other things. So there's going to be a whole lot of shirts going out, different sizes. What I'm going to do is probably more than likely take orders on Thursdays and Fridays. I will make sure I have a shirt to show Tea Time with Kitty every Wednesday so that they can be first to place any orders on Wednesdays, only for persons coming from Tea Time with Kitty. And everybody else will place their shirts on Thursdays and Fridays with delivery meetup dates on Saturdays and some Sundays. So I thank you all so much. I'm glad I was able to get through because I felt a little stuffy and the peppermint tea made me cough. So I thank you all so much. I appreciate with you for giving feedback. This was definitely helped me be able to decline some things this summer, as well as help me with being cautious of how I give and how I receive. But wherever it is, I think that if it's something you want from someone, take it. If it's something you don't want, you have the right to decline. Don't feel no pressure because you're important. The way you feel is just as important as the way someone else's feel. So always validate your own feelings and respectfully decline. But most important on this rainy day, thank you so much for sipping with a sister and have a great day.